Joining me now is ANC stalwart and former presidential spokesperson Maharaj. He's dismissing claims that former SANDF chief Siphiwe Nyanda was an apartheid spy. At the state capture inquiry, Zuma alleged Nyanda took instructions from the apartheid police. It's very good to have you with us, Mr. Maharaj. Talk us about these allegations and why you dispute them.
Good morning to you, Jane, and to your listeners. I was faced with the allegation about Siphiwe Nyanda being a person working with the apartheid regime. And I found that a very disturbing piece of news, because when one is entrusted with responsibilities in the ANC, it is in order to promote the struggle, it's in order to protect the organization and the struggle, and it's in order to understand what the other side is planning and doing so that you implement things correctly. Now, Siphiwe Nyanda has been entrusted over the years with highly sensitive tasks, and it ended up with him becoming the chief of the National Defence Force in democratic South Africa. If there was any information suggesting that he was working with the apartheid regime, it was appropriate that that information should have been given to the president of the ANC so that measures can be taken to protect the struggle and the ANC. This was not done. The fact that the revelations, so-called revelations, are made now, they are made in the context of a person defending themselves against charges of corruption. And I find that totally incongruous with the duties and tasks that one has as a responsible ANC member.
I mean, as you say, if it is a diversion tactic, why would he focus on someone who, as you say, was so important to the struggle, who would have clearly been tested? And if Jacob Zuma had known he was a spy, why would he bring in somebody so dangerous?
Well, that's the point I'm making. Siphiwe has risen from the Transvaal urban machinery based in Swaziland and Mozambique in 1975, 76, 77. He has risen to the position of being deputy commander of Operation Vula. After 91, he became part of the head committee of our self-defense units when violence was ravaging our country. And then he was selected, one amongst many candidates who were eminently suitable with experience to go for further training to be selected as the chief of the defense force. He was not so exceptional that we did not have anybody else. So if there were these issues, now you ask me why is it raised now? I cannot go into the mind of the people making the allegation. All I can do is to say this is not the type of behavior and conduct expected of a person charged with responsibilities to protect the struggle and advance the struggle, to protect the ANC as the vehicle of that struggle, and to ensure that any measures aimed at defeating the purposes of our struggle are taken into account when we implement our plans. And that is what makes a person a good cadre, and I think that the problems that the ANC is facing of renewing itself is to establish that base for its cadres, that they should be servants of the people.
And of course, Nyanda wasn't the only one. Jacob Zuma also focused on former Mineral Resources Minister Gwako Ramatlori and Derek Hanekom. Why do you think he pulled those into the same camp here?
Firstly, I cannot say much about Gwako or Derek because I have not worked with them in the underground days in any particular sensitive missions. So I cannot comment on that, although I am concerned in the same way, because Derek has a phenomenal record of service in the struggle. He went to prison as part of serving the struggle, he and his wife, and after coming out of prison, he served the movement from Zimbabwe. And post-91, he has been vital to the establishment of implementation of our programs. Gwako arose in exile from Lesotho to become one of the speechwriters for former President Oliver Tambo, and he was in the team that Tambo took around meeting each of the frontline states' presidents when we were preparing the so-called Harare Declaration, and therefore to have an agent of apartheid next to Tambo was virtually to say we have going to give inside information to the apartheid regime of all discussions Tambo was having with the presidents of the frontline states. Now, that is a shocking piece of thing that no measures were taken to protect the movement.
So what do you make
Why
of...
this
Oh,
is
sorry,
being
excuse me
done
jumping in.
in
Sorry,
the
Mr.
context
Okay, carry on.
that when there are charges of corruption, and it shows that the evidence before the Zondo Commission is showing that the corruption has not been singular, it seems to have become systemic, and one is trying to uproot that, and only to shift the emphasis from that to all these claims 25 years after democracy seems to me incongruous with the duties of a cadre of the ANC.
So Derek Hanekom has said that he is, according to Business Day, going to take these allegations to court. Jacob Zuma also said during his testimony that there were assassination attempts on his life. Do you think both the allegations and these sort of assassination attempts need to be further investigated, whether by the police or in a court of law?
I think that Derek has done the correct thing because the allegation against Derek was made outside of the Zondo Commission. I think there is a problem legally when things are made in evidence in a courtroom or in a commission. I think people should be free to speak there, but I think that the allegations need to be tested and substantiated, and sometimes the allegations are found wrong and sometimes they're found correct. Derek, I think, has been injured severely by the allegations, and because the allegation was made outside the courtroom, I think he has a substantial case to go to court, and I think he should pursue it. And it would be great for the country that any such allegations about the past are substantiated by those making the allegations, and if the allegations prove to be untrue, then one should withdraw those allegations.
Very good to talk to you, former presidential spokesperson Mac Maharaj.